Hello everyone, this is Christy, and today I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to batch resize images in Photoshop. And I know I've done a video recently about batch resizing images in XNView, which is a free software, but if you want to do it in Photoshop, you have options here too. So you can start this process from Photoshop or from Bridge. If you're using Bridge to browse your photos, it's very easy to get to this function. So let me show you. I have here a folder of images that are way too large. There are about 1,000, 2,000 pixels and so on. So I want to resize all of these to be smaller, and keeping these original versions, I want to put them in a subfolder. So doing this manually would take a long time. So I open Photoshop here, and I just have to go to the File menu and Scripts, and there is Image Processor. If you're doing this from Bridge, you can open Bridge here and you can select your photos. I have the same folder here in Bridge, and you go to Tools, Photoshop, and Image Processor. This is the same tool that you can use. And if I just run it here now, you can see that you have to follow 4 steps. You really have to only follow 3 if you just want to resize. But if you want to run some automations or actions from Photoshop that you have created previously, you can do that in step 4. So in order to set up this tool, you just have to tell it first where to find the photos. Okay, so the first of all is select the images to process. Now I have already selected them in Bridge, so it doesn't ask me to do it here because it already considers that I want to resize those images. But if I cancel this and I call this function from Photoshop, if I go to File, Scripts, Image Processor, you will see that in step 1 it doesn't have any photos selected, so I can select a folder to process. So I can just click on this, select folder, and this is my folder, Photoshop Batch Resize. I don't see the images here, but I know they're there. I click OK, and now I have selected where images come from. The second step is to select where do I want to save these images. Now I can say save in the same location, which means it's going to save the new resized images in the same folder as the originals. And the next step is select what save as JPEG or save as PSD or save as TIFF. You can select all of these 3 and it will create all of them at the same time. Now you don't need to do it, and if I want to just save to JPEG, that's already selected here. I just turn it on and I have some options to set. First of all, what is the quality of the final JPEGs that I want to have? And also, if I want to resize, and this is where we arrive at the main purpose of this video, is tick this box here to fit, resize to fit. So it will apply this size here for every photo in the batch. Now, okay, it has 2000 here, but I want to say maybe 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. That doesn't mean that Photoshop is going to deform your photos. It will keep the aspect ratio, but it will constrain them to 1000 pixels vertically and horizontally. You can vary these things and you can make them different sizes, but the only thing you need to remember is if you have different images, and I do have here, I have portraits, I have landscape, this function, this option here will just keep it within that. So I'm just clicking OK here, and it's doing the resizing now. You can see it in Photoshop. It's loading each image one by one and resizing it to fit my specified size. And when it's done, you will notice that we can actually look now. It has created a folder called JPEG here. So, and it's putting all these resized images inside of this JPEG folder. So this is really all there is to it. You just use the image processor. Let me show you again. In Bridge, you find it in Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor. And you have to have, if you don't have any photos selected, then it's going to ask you where to select them from. If you have them selected, it will apply to those ones. So in this case here, I just have Image Processor, and it's telling me it's already busy doing another task, so I can queue this command. So if you're doing this in multiple locations, and you can queue these operations, and you can specify the images and the folders, and when you run this job, it's going to queue it and it's going to run it after it's finished with the other one. So as you can see here now, it's finished resizing them. So I have my original photos here, and inside the JPEG folder, because I told it to put them inside of the same folder, it's created a JPEG folder here. And if I go inside here, you will see that the pictures have 750 by 1000, so it's vertically made at maximum of 1000 pixels. And if I use the landscape one, if I look at a landscape photo, it has 1000 by 667, so that means it's constrained the width to 1000 pixels. So all of my images have been resized. If you vary the quality, you can really quickly resize all of your images automatically. You don't have to do a manual process. So I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you found this useful, and see you next time.